Winning Edge Investments, tips and ratings for racing and sports. Dean Evans joins us. I wonder how he's feeling on Caulfield Cup Eve. Of course, he has Vauban engaged with Australian Bloodstock. Winning Edge Investments purchased into Vauban once he was sold last year, and he's with us now. G'day, Dean.
G'day, Gareth. How are you?
How are you feeling, mate?
Oh, excited.
Yeah.
Excited. This has been sort of a year in the making, and culminating in sort of this big race and then the Melbourne Cup in a couple of weeks, and sort of all systems go. We're pretty happy with that Metrop run last start.
Yep.
Big weight, and held up and arguably could have won if he'd got some clear running, and he sort of got shuffled a long way back as well. So he's drawn out there where he stays out of trouble. He might sort of be 3 wide, but if he's got cover and he can sort of blend into the race with that second wave, then he's right in it.
Let's have a look at the Caulfield Cup with Bet365. Half yours is out to $3. Meydan at $9. Royal Supremacy $9. Your horse Vauban at $11. Middle Earth at $13. Deacons had support this morning at $16. Birdman $17. The Japanese Galloper Golden Snap at $21. Revelare at $23. Absurd at $26. Land Legend $26. Adelaide River and Sardozi both at $26, along with Valiant King. And then the French Galloper Prestige Nocturne at $34. Plymouth is at 60-1. River of Stars, Nick Ashman liking this horse at a price at $81. And then Banker's Choice is the outsider at 100-1. Who wins the Caulfield Cup?
Yeah, look, none of the last 14 winners have had 55 kgs or more. It is a class horses race, and a form horses race too. The last 14 years, you've sort of finished in the first 5 or 6 at your last 2 starts. If you do any worse than that, you can't win generally. We've had 4 overseas trained imports, one a couple from Europe, a couple from Japan, all odds between $8 and $14. Interestingly, I had a good long chat with Luke Murray yesterday, who knows the imports better than most, and he wasn't too enamoured by most of them, to be honest. He thought sort of Presage Nocturne and Golden Snap are both sort of whackers and more 2-mile and 2,400 metre horses. Meydan's probably clearly the best of them, and I think is the big danger. I do think Vauban ticks a lot of the boxes. I think he could have arguably won both the Group 1 Tancred in the autumn and the Metrop with any luck in his 2 2,400 metre runs, and he profiles really nicely here, so he's a big chance. I do think Meydan is the best of the imports, trained and known by the same connections as West Wind Blows. He ran second, beaten ahead in the 23 Caulfield Cup. And without a fight, he won the Melbourne Cup for Freedman's. Ran a really close third to Giavoletto and Calpana last start. That's top quality staying form. That's kind of arc-type form. Mm-hmm. So probably likes to cut out of the ground, but I think Meydan's a good chance. And the other's danger, I think, is half yours. You won the Calandra Cup by 4.7 lengths, around +9 at times, a really strong 2,400. Won the Naturalism both 3.5 lengths. That Turnbull run was really good. Sort of down there, just whether he gets stuck and buried away, sort of 3 back on the fence, I think is a risk with half yours, and they start to sort of quicken up from the 600, 800, and he's sort of bottled in there, might be the risk. So I think he's down on the price, but I do think the value runners at the moment for me are Vauban and Meydan.
How do you ride your horse?
There's a decent tempo here. You got horses like Banker's Choice and River of Stars that I think are going to, they're going to set the tempo up front. He looks like, to me, getting sort of a 3-wide run with cover right there in midfield. So I think he's not going to be too far off them, and I think he's going to be part of that second wave that's going to blend into the race as they get in there from the 600. And as long as he's got plenty of space, I think he has appreciated, being a European horse, being sort of inside horses. So I think, ride him just with cover around midfield and let him really finish home strong.
Apocalyptic's at $2.10 with Bet365 to continue on her merry way in this spring. She comes to Melbourne for the first time. Ole Dance at $5.50, Get a Good Feeling at $9, and then Karinska at $12 for Rivia at $16. Is she just better than these Victorian fillies?
Well, she's really high quality. We love her. We've spoken about her since the start of the spring. She's won all 3. Took her at sort of futures around $13 for the Flight Stakes, and we actually took her at $26 for this race. So we're certainly cheering her home. She looks to get it's a bit of a funny map because there's sort of an above average tempo. You've got Chateau Ease, Ethereum Girl and Steel Trap have all drawn wide, and they're going to push forward. And then Apocalyptic's also going to need to sort of push forward and I think try and get in that 1-1. And if she can, I think she's going to be very, very hard to beat at sort of even money, and we're certainly cheering for her. But there's a couple of other fillies I want to speak about too. I think very high quality, get a good feeling. To members around $26 to win the Oaks, and she was held up, much of the straight and really flew home to win that Group 2 Edward Manifold last start. She ran really quick late sectionals after being held up over the mile and ran the second quickest last 200 metres of the day. I think she's a really, really high quality filly. Get a good feeling. Who gets a really, really nice run from that barrier too, and she's definitely a big danger. And Chateau Ease is another horse we've been following in the trials. She won a maiden by 3 lengths, and then that second in the Jim Baloney when she was handy to that really, really hot speed where they ran 10 lengths above standard for the first half was very, very impressive. And if she can get across from that wide gate and sort of control things up front, she's a really high quality filly too. So, look, I do think Apocalyptic clearly the one to beat, but get a good feeling, and Chateau Ease are very high quality fillies for people to follow as well.
Let's have a look at the classic for the 3-year-old stayers over the 2,000 metres. Miwa is the 350 equal favourite with Engine of War now with Bet365. Arabian Prince 420, Autumn Mystery at 550, and then Deal Done Fast for Matty Kamani at $8 and Mick Woody at $19 here. They're usually these funny old races. The classic here for the 3-year-olds, slowly run races that have seen over time anyway some short price favourites go down.
Yeah, and that's exactly why I wanted to point this race out. Like you say, really, really slow speed. You got sort of Fabulous Fiano who'll lead, and then there's just nothing that really has a lot of pace after it. Engine of War, Amazaki, and Mick Woody are probably the three that'll be on pace, but a very slow speed here. Roughies can come up, and I did sort of all the historical profiling of this race, and there's just nothing in those runners at the short odds that they all sort of don't profile particularly well. They ought to get back on that slow speed, or the ratings just aren't amazing. There's a roughie here that I like, a horse called Amazaki, trained by Kieran Maher. We've actually taken some of the 50s in the VRC Derby. Okay. He's had 4 career starts over 1,400, 1,500. He finally gets up to 2,000 metres, which he's been crying out for, this Maurice 3-year-old. He flew home for 6th first up at Geelong, ran the quickest last 200 metres of the day. And then I think he was just really dour second up when he was sort of stuck out 3 wide over 1,500. I think the 2,000 is going to be ideal for him. He's going to settle really handy to, like you said, that really slow speed. He's ridden by Andrea Zini, who's won 31 Group 1 races. I think he's just a bit of a forgotten horse here for Kieran Maher in what's not an overly strong race. And he's a sort of $26 plus across the board with the bookies. I think he's a great each-way rough bet in this race for a horse, I think, just crying out for this distance.
Yeah, we're on right now. Love that each-way push. Hey, don't go anywhere, Dino. We'll take a break. We'll come back with a look at the feature race in Sydney, highlighted by the Everest. And we've got our competition winner that will join us, who gets to go to either the Everest or the Caulfield Cup. But more importantly, they get 1% of Vauban in tomorrow's Caulfield Cup. So we'll have the winner of that competition coming up next as well. Great to be with you on this Friday morning. This is Giddy Up. You're watching us on racing.com, streaming live on the SEN app, and of course listening to us on your local SEN track or RSN dials. And the 42 stations we're going through now on the RSN frequency right throughout Victoria. Winning Edge Investments, tips and ratings for racing and sports. Dean Evans joins us. We'll go through the feature race now in Sydney, the Everest. Boy, hasn't it been some build-up, Dean, for this year's Everest. We've got Kaying Rising with Bet365 at $1.70. Jolly Star at 7. Jimmy Star at 11. War Machine at 11. Lady Shenandoah at 13. No one wants Briasa. He's out the gate to $16 and tempted at 16. Angel Capital at 26. Overpass at 50-1. Magic Time at 80-1. And then Marzu at 126. And Jetty Bill at $151. Who are you with in the Everest?
Yeah, amazing race, isn't it? The build-up's been incredible, and this year just such enormous intrigue with Kaying Rising, the world's highest-rated sprinter and horse, coming in here and then coming off a trial that was, so-so, and it's just really, really interesting. If we combine, the Everest and the TJ Smith over 1,200 metres at Randwick over the last 40 years of 22 races, 19 of those have been won by a horse either third up or fourth up, and only 3 have managed to win it second up, and they've usually come off a 1,200 metre run. And so interesting, you've got Jolie Star so short in the market, but she's trying to come up here second up off just an 1,100 metre run. She also gets back on my database, which there hasn't been a single winner. It's a back marker win this race ever. And mares, we've only had the great Bella Nipotina, who was a superstar, win, and no other mares even managed to run a place in this race. All the winners of the Everest too have either been sort of the top 4 in the handicap ratings and the tab numbers, or right down the bottom, number 12 is a 3-year-old filly. So the horse that just ticks every box is just a perfect preparation. Second, coming in here third up off the 14-day break is the horse that you mentioned, Briasa. I'm astounded at the price. He won 8 from 12, won the TJ Smith this track distance last prep, won the Premier Stakes second up, and just maps nicely here. And I think people have been turned off by that barrier 10, but there's that really early speed with overpassing Marzi. You then got Kaying Rising, who's probably going to try and push up and ideally get a little suck run behind them. And I can see sort of War Machine then fourth on the fence and Briasa sitting fifth and tracking Kaying Rising the whole way, because the rest of them, sort of Lady Shenandoah, Magic Time, they're going to want to get back off that hot speed. Tempted, Jetabil, Jolie Star, Jimmy Star, Angel Capital, they're all way out the back. And I can see Briasa potentially getting a perfect 1-1 run. And if he does, look out. I just don't see how there's still sort of $16 here. It's an incredible price. And the other one I'm keen on is Tempted down the bottom. The 3-year-olds have won 2 Everest from 8. Group 1 Golden Slipper Place Getter, won the Run to the Rose, is so impressively first up. And then that third in the Golden Rose was, Autumn Boys really franked that form, and the time was, track record time. Just gets the suck run there from barrier 1. And just that lightweight, I think Tempted around sort of $17. I think they're 2 great bets, and in a race where Kaying Rising is obviously a superstar, but I heard an interview, it was in Chinese a few days ago, and his track rider who's with him all the time, he was probably 80 to 90% fit. Well, this is a big race. Yeah. And I don't, he said he's not the 100% that he was when he sort of won the Centenary Sprint and that sort of thing. So I just can't be taken to $1.80, and we know. I think for smart punters, you've got all the corporate bookies and the fixed odds. You've got Betfair, and then you've got the Whirlpool, where Kaying Rising could be something stupid, $20, $30. Who knows what he's going to come up, and the odds that you're going to be able to take by monitoring the prices and picking out of whether you want to take it with a corporate bookie or take that Whirlpool. Like, you could just get some amazing odds, and it's sort of a once in a year betting opportunity, I think, this race to get great odds on whatever you like.
Only way to go if you're taking on Kaying Rising is Bet365, Top Tote Plus. All the odds protected there. That's after 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. So Top Tote Plus, I reckon, if you're playing your exotics, Quinellas and that.
Great option.
Yeah, with this Bet365. It's fascinating. That's the first I've heard. It just gets better this week with Kaying Rising. Dean Evans from Winning Edge Investments, I'm quoting the track work writer in Mandarin. So that just sums up the Kaying Rising narrative this week. We might have to get that up on, I don't know how, we'll get an interpreter and see how we go. But I love that, Dino. That is research at its very, very best, mate. So well done there. It's gonna be interesting. And saying that, Romantic Warrior won a Cox Plate 90% fit that year. So
he did. Yeah, he did. Look, he's the best horse in the world for a reason. But, that's what makes this such an intriguing race and gets people talking about the sport. And it's been a great successful concept from the start. And it's great to have such a great race day with both the Everest and Caulfield Cup.
We'll run through the Silver Eagle. Linebacker at $3.50, Sabaj $6, Mayfair. He hasn't got a great winning strike rate, but he's first up for B. Baker. He's at $6.50 with Bet365. Gerringong $6.50, Lord Penman at $11, Imperial Force at $16. How do you read the Silver Eagle?
Well, I'm really keen on linebacker here. That trial was unbelievable. You'd back him in an Everest on that trial, the way he sort of just strode past blokes of Overpass and Kaying Rising showed he was really flying. This horse won the Randwick Guineas last prep. He beat Broadsiding and Aliana. That's A-grade form. He was pretty unlucky in the Doncaster too, when he sort of just got a mile back and held up a bit. That first run on the tramway was so badly weighted, and the conditions of that, he carried 58. He was giving weight to horses like Pericles and Private Eye, and he sort of stuck out 3 wide, no cover, and had no luck. But that Randwick trial win that everyone sort of saw, he ran 13.5 lengths above standard time in that trial. They absolutely flew. We're getting a great price here, sort of $3.50 available at the moment, and my map's just got quite a few horses that have a lot of speed here. Shangri-La, Spring, Gerringong, Mayfair, Imperial Force, Spicy Martini, and Reckon all really push forward. And so there's a way that linebackers just going to be able to get across and then slot straight in. Might even find a fence, would you believe?
Okay.
Just the way that all the other runners in the race really are back markers that don't have any early speed. So if he's just positive and then slots in, at worst, I think you can get a run one off the fence, get nice cover. And so I think that barrier draw is not as bad as it looks on paper. And $3.50 looks a gift the way that he trialled and with the class of this horse.
You've been on fire in the spring. I love your confidence there with live
across the SEN track and RSN networks. And broadcasting live on racing.com. This is Giddy Up with Gareth Hall.
Welcome back to Giddy Up. I've said this on several occasions in my time here doing Giddy Up in the last 3 years. This has been clearly the best competition we've ever had here on SEN Track and RSN and Giddy Up. And we teamed up with Dean Evans and Winning Edge Investments. Of course, they purchased a share in Vauban after last year's Melbourne Cup. So the prize is a package worth about $30,000, and the winner, which we're about to announce, gets to either go to Caulfield Cup Day or Everest Day, and they can take a friend or a partner, and they get to have a package worth up to about $5,000 there on one of those race days. And then they get, more importantly, this is the one that I love, a 1% share for the day of Vauban, who of course goes around in the Caulfield Cup. It was a popular competition, Dino.
Really popular competition. It's great to see so many people get on board, and we had a heap of really, really great entries, funny entries, clever entries, deserving entries. Always hard to pick a winner, but Jace's response was pretty good. I might read it out quickly. And he quoted 8 horses in the 25 words, and so his entry was: Buckaroo, I want to chase your dreams and mine, treasure the moment, invite a lady in pink, express positivity, watch Vauban create future history, will he do it? So we thought that was quite clever.
Well done, Jace Lindermann. He joins us now. He's the winner of the competition. That was brilliant, Jace. Congratulations on behalf of everyone here on Giddy Up. Well done. After that intro, we've lost him. We'll try and get on to Jace. He's just dropped out. He was that excited. Is he ready to go? G'day, Jace. Congratulations. Well done. It's working beautifully. He's just blown away with this prize that he's won, Dino. I wonder where he's going to go. His reception's not great at the moment. Jace, can you hear us? This is no good. It's not quite.
Maybe
working.
while he waits, Gareth, I'll just sort of announce we're still working with your team, but we want to do another competition for the Melbourne Cup and give people a 1% option, 1% ownership in Vauban for the Melbourne Cup. So just working with your team on the details. What I can say at the moment is if you want to enter, you need to be subscribed to our newsletter. So pop on to winningedgeinvestments.com, find the newsletter button, subscribe to our newsletter. That's the first step.
Yes.
And purchase a membership. But any of our services, any of our 8 horse racing services, even just a monthly membership, as long as you're a member, you're going to go in with an opportunity to have a 1% share in Vauban for the Melbourne Cup. So we'll get more details next week, but that's the first step.
That is exciting. I think Jace is ready to go. Jace, you there, mate?
I am, Gareth. Yes.
Congratulations, brother. Well done.
Oh, thank you very much.
Are you going to go to Caulfield or Randwick? That's the big question.
We're going to go to Caulfield and cheer on Vauban.
And Dean read out your application basically in the 25 words to explain why you love Vauban, and it was superb. So how confident are you that he can get the job done?
Oh, he's got a good chance. He's got a great jockey, and it looked like he didn't get out last start. So I was listening to Gauger in the week, and she was quite confident. So all points to a good run.
How good you could be a Caulfield Cup winning owner by tomorrow afternoon.
Oh, sensational if it was. It's just a great opportunity, and I want to thank SEN and Dean from Winning Edge Investments for the great opportunity. So going to take my son up, so he's pretty pumped.
How good's that? Does he love his racing?
Yeah, we both love our racing.
Yeah.
So we're in a pretty serious punters club. So the boys will be all cheering us on.
Dino?
Yeah, no, Jace, just want to say big congratulations. It's fantastic. It's good that you're going to be on track to cheer them home, give them all those good vibes. And, we were very, everyone at the SEN team and Winning Edge Investments thought your entry was very clever. But, this is what it was all about, trying to get people involved and supporting the horse, supporting our great game. And, just really excited for you. And let's hope we can get the big check tomorrow afternoon.
Yes, giddy up, Vauban.
Yeah, giddy up, Vauban. What are you going to do with the prize money? I've got about 45 seconds anyway. You'll be able to take the boy. You might be able to buy a share on a horse or something. But this is what racing's all about. As I said, Jace, it's the best prize we've done here on SEN, and thanks to Winning Edge Investments, mate. I'm so bloody happy for you and your boy. So you enjoy today, tomorrow, and you go and win that Caulfield Cup.
We'll be trying our best. Thank you, Gareth, and thanks again, Dean.
Good on you.
Cheers, Joe.
There's Jason Lindermann. Dino, on behalf of everyone, mate, here on Giddy Up, we wish you the best of luck there with your horse in a Caulfield Cup.
Thanks, Gareth. Appreciate it.
Good on you, mate. And go to Winning Edge Investments, tips ratings for racing and sports. So get a membership, even if you type in SEN as well or RSN, you get a 50% lifetime discount. So that's the best winner you can back